the percentage of U.S. households that own a home today has dropped significantly in recent years. Still, you hear people constantly saying, own a home, buy a house. You need to buy a house. Don't rent. The house is an American dream. Folks, let me tell you the American dream. The American dream is about freedom, not about home ownership. The American dream is about freedom, the ability to do what you want when you want to do it. And the only thing that's given me that freedom in my life, while I believe in hard work, I believe in owning a business. If you can own a business and make a business work, if you're the type of entrepreneur that can actually show up every day and grind it out, put it all on the line, the businesses that I work the hardest in are not the ones that have made me the most money. The most money that I've made in my career has been in rental real estate. Regardless of what you've been told by your mommy and daddy about a single family home, about one address that you put your money in and you got to live there. And I know what you tell yourself, I got to live someplace. Why am I going to rent it? This is what I want you to do. I want you to rent where you live, and I want you to own what you rent. Do you understand? I want you to rent where you live. Why? Because that means you're nimble, you can move around, and I want you to invest money in something you can rent to others. So rather than owning one home, okay, I want you to rent one home, and I want you to own 40 units. I want you to own those 40 units. Should I buy a single family home? What if I could rent a house out? I got a house right now with $200,000 worth of equity. It's worth $300,000. I could sell it. I owe $140,000. I could get my $200,000, or I could just rent it, Grant, or I could borrow money against it and rent it. Look, don't do it. Okay? I am very clear about what you need to do here. You want to be an income-producing real estate. That is the kind of real estate. Farms, farmland that produces income is good. Ranch land that produces income, great. Okay? Land that produces nothing, no, man, that's weight. Okay? You guys that are going out, guys and gals, looking at building something, beware, man. I'm telling you, I'm going to show you. For every builder I'll show you a bankruptcy. Because you can't predict when the income comes in. And these builders, when they get into a building mode, just come visit Miami or go to Chicago or go to Toronto. Okay? And you're going to see cranes in the air, baby. In the air. You know what that means? Beware. Beware for the cranes in the air. Okay? I want you to rent one home, and I want you to own 40 units. I want you to own those 40 units. Why? What's the difference? Because I can write off all the interest with no cap, no restrictions, all the interest, all the maintenance, all the expenses, anything and everything, the loan, the application, the legal, everything. When I own 40 units or 4 units, depending on where you want to start, whether it's 4 units, 40 units, or 2 units, or whatever the number, 400, I get to write it all off as tax deductible. And you say, well, Grant, I can write off my house too. You're limited on the amount of interest that you can write off on a house. You're limited on the amount of money you can write off paint, roofs, landscaping, all that. You can't write off that. You want to put pansies in your front yard because it's March and you want color? You cannot write that off if you own a home. If I own an apartment building, by the way, that apartment building that I actually live at, okay, imagine this. You want to hear a good play? You don't just own those 48 units. You own them and live in them. Now you're living for free, baby. Now you're living for free. Stay away from single-family homes. Look at location first. Understand the location. On any block, there's going to be 2 or 3 homes in a block that are always going to be worth more than the other 27 homes on that block. Stay in that one. I'm talking about 100 feet, 200 feet of a block are going to be more desirable. When they say location, 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 I'm talking about know the street, the zip code, the area. Know where that bad street corner is where nothing ever works there. There's crime there. Find those 2 or 3 homes or that one portion of the block. Location first. Number 2, look at the income for the trailing 12. Number 3, look at your expenses. What are the expenses? What's it cost to run a unit with insurance, taxes, problems, maintenance? Then look at the loan amount. Don't worry about this loan amount. Is it 5, 5 and a quarter? Don't worry about the loan. You know why? It's easier to get a loan on a multifamily than anything else. I'm talking about the power of 10, okay? That is, I'm looking for a 10% return, and 10% return in 10 years, I get my down payment back. We just bought a deal I put $8 million on. Okay, it's going to return me at least $800,000 a year. I think by the time we end up getting in here and tinkering a little bit, I think this thing's going to earn more like 15 to 20% a year. At 20% a year, The investors have their money back in 5 years, and we own a $36 million complex with no dough. One of the things is, how long do you need for due diligence, right? Due diligence is the reasonable steps taken by a person or a company in order to satisfy whether or not you're going to buy the deal, and also the legal requirements required by the bank. We're going to want the rent rolls, okay? The bank's going to want the rent rolls. Dude, you said you got Bob Smith. You said you got people paying $765 a month there. I need to see every rent roll. Or the rent roll. I need to see every tenant, when they moved in, when they moved out, when it expires, when that lease expires. Is this even legitimate? By the way, if you're looking at a due diligence and you're trying to buy this thing right now and you see that everybody just moved in the last 60 days, why, man? Why did all of a sudden they load up, man? They went from a 90% occupancy to 96% because they knew they were going to sell, so they just started freaking calling heads on beds. Mm-hmm. Okay, they jammed up the units to prepare for a sale. Okay, so one, I need the rent rolls.